What do you see? And then do you try to fix it? What do you see? And then do you try to fix it? Do you try to coach it? Let's use coaching, probably a healthier term. Do you try to coach it? So talking to a couple of my leaders about leaders that'll learn glass. So again, we're still on the theme of like, how do we attract great talent? How do we train great talent? How do we retain great talent? And one of the training elements is, what do you observe in your staff that you could coach them on? What do you observe? So like a couple of my leaders, I believe, have myopic views, right? So they're like going through their day like this, which you need to at times. You got to be like super laser focused. And then there's other times, especially when you're around your staff, you need to widen your peripherals and be like, hey, I got to pay attention. Somebody looks a little off, or I hear things, I hear their comments, and you start to discern. So I'll give you two examples really quick. One of my teammates, one of the young guys that does not report to me. And again, hang on, let me say this. I'm wrong all the time. It's 8:22 in the morning. I've been wrong. I got up at 3:30. I've been wrong a bunch already. So, some of you guys that are like, Jerry, are you right about all this stuff? It's like, frick, no, I'm wrong all the time. So, but I'm telling you exactly what I'm doing. So I was talking to my buddy Don Kennedy this morning. I'm like, I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. And I'll live with the consequences of that, right? So I have two guys that don't report to me that I'm observing some coaching opportunities in them, right? So I'm going to my leaders and I'm like, do you see what I see? And they're like, no, I don't see that. And I'm like, shit. All right, you don't see what I see. What do you see? When not to mention them by name, but to you, right? But to them, I'm like, hey, what do you see in this guy? What do you see? Where do you think he's at? Like if you took a pulse of him right now, where do you think he is? And then this other guy. So two of my leaders that have direct reports that I'm observing their direct reports, and I'm like, there's some coaching opportunities there to help them be the best version of themselves, right? I see some coaching opportunities to help them be the best version of themselves. And by God, I'm coaching them. So again, let's just say, Jerry, you're wrong for doing this. It's like, okay, I'm wrong, but I'm doing it. So, and I'm just telling you what I'm doing. So I'm going to the two leaders and I'm like, look, do you see what I see? Nope. What do you see? What do you see in these two guys? Do you see any issues that could be holding them back from being the best version of themselves? So I'm going to help my leaders see that. And then by God, I'm coaching those two guys, right? So I'm not trying to go around, I'm trying to go through them to coach their direct reports to say, hey, here's what I'm observing and I want to coach you up. So there's consequences to this, right? So we'll talk about it on a future video, but I'm just telling you again, what do you see? What do you see in some of your team? And then even if they don't directly report to you, how are you coaching them up? So more to come on this topic.